What's going on, patrons of the dark? Today I'm here with you for a response video. The Dreadful Rick has challenged the YouTube community to talk about spooky Halloween albums. From Thor's Hammer. Not ordinarily my wheelhouse of that kind of thing, but I did check in on this a couple of years ago and kind of liked it. And my buddy Troy sent this along in a package of stuff last week, so hope you enjoy it. So, for the horrific atrocities that are some LPs that would fit this thread. And by the way, if you feel like responding to this thread and throwing your hat in the game, please do so. I will leave a link to Rick's video back down in the description box so you can kind of figure out how to play along. So these are by no means anything that I haven't shown on my channel before, but the opportunity to pull these out again is kind of fun. So first, this is... oh, by the way, like, not all of this is metal. This is just kind of a rando pick. Witchcraft Coven, destroyer of mind and destroy minds and reap souls. Yeah, there you go. These guys, I think, recently reformed. I think just this lady is still alive. This was kind of a boundary pusher for when it came out back in, I don't know, early to mid 70s, I believe. In fact, one of the members of this band was named Osbourne. And I think some people believe that Ozzy Osbourne got his name from this. I'm not sure how accurate that could possibly be. But in the back here, there is, well, lyrics packed with Lucifer, dignitaries of hell, for unlawful carnage, carnal knowledge, coven in Charing Cross. I don't know, very boogity. But yeah, like, imagine how scary and boogity this would have been when it came out back in the day. Now, the thing about it is the music is kind of whatever. I mean, a couple songs on here could find home on a Halloween party playlist, maybe, with a bunch of normies. It just kind of sounds like Fleetwood Mac, kind of. There's nothing too special about it. But this thing goes for like $200 or $300. It's not in the best condition, obviously. It's got some nicks and cuts here, but I picked this up for a couple bucks back when I was 20 years old, and it's still very boogity and spooky. This fucking rules. I actually just put this on to kind of revisit it, and I love this record so much. Mighty Sphincter with, what is this called again? Oh, the new Manson Family. So this was kind of a death rock, gothic rock kind of outfit out of LA. And I think this was released in maybe 83, 84. And I love this thing. I think these guys were maybe trying to kind of push the envelope a little bit too far. Stylistically, there's some very, very odd guitar harmonies going on. There are some chordings and harmonies going on that are very familiar as metal guitar work, but it doesn't really, not even any semblance of this could be misconstrued as metal. It's heavy death rock, and it's very atonal and dissonant and weird, and there's these kind of haunting vocals over it. It's very, very unique, and it's the kind of thing from a place that I kind of love digging around in when I'm in the mood for something very odd and not metal. This kind of post-punk dark goth rock kind of stuff. I mean, these guys were playing around with bands like 45 Grave, shit like that from out in LA. Produced by Alice Cooper, of all things, the Lord of Darkness. This copy doesn't have an insert. I have 2 copies of this. One of them is just melted to shit, and the other one has an insert and is actually in pretty good condition. I should have grabbed that one. This is great. Like, of this whole pile, I think this gets like my highest recommendation. I absolutely love this thing, and as you can see, obviously they're kind of dressing up as like the Addams Family in a way, but the album is called the New Manson Family, and Peter Lorre's on the back. How about that? Can't go wrong with that. Now, most of you should be familiar with this, Drawing Down the Moon by Beherit. This is one of the more truly haunting and nightmarish, ghoulish kind of albums. I think Beherit really, really, really took things to a new level with this album, as far as just blood-curdling, churning guitar work. Not much to look at with this guy. It's just a black vinyl too. This thing it just contains such a framework for how bands would approach being inhuman and stepping outside of their mortal flesh and sounding more eerie and dark and brooding. The cover art is very unique and kind of alien, and it invokes the sound of the album, which is just so doomy and nightmarish and scary and weird. There's just flourishes of insanely nasty black metal, but it's evident, I think, on this album that these songs were took some care to write. Not that they're complex or anything, but I think these songs, over the course of several demos, rehearsals and things, that these songs were performed and recorded the way that they intended them to be. This is one of those things that's kind of like an incidentally spooky black metal album because it was recorded on a shitty 4-track or something. I believe that every sound you hear on this thing was done with absolute intent and artistic inspiration. Drawing Down the Moon, if you don't know it, get on it. Amazing. Now, a lot of you will probably not be familiar with this, but this is one of those albums I just kind of I love recommending to people because it's very unheard of. I think a lot of people just kind of don't know where to go in the discography of this project. And it's got a weird cover art on it. It's just kind of confusing, I think, to a lot of people. But when I was partnering with my buddy with Pagan Flames, we released this on CD, and Funeral Industries released this on LP a couple of years ago. This is Brulvanatu with Menstrual Extraction Ceremony. This is haunting, dark, scary as fuck. Man, this thing is so awesome. There's just blistering, fast, gurgling death metal parts, but at times they'll get really sad and drawn out and like emotional. This truly sounds like someone going through an insane mental health episode or something. It's just a nightmarish journey through chasms of really, really weird atonal kind of things. It's got some kind of typical death metal sounding kind of things and some black metal kind of moments, but just interweaving all these different nightmarish pauses and experimental kind of sounds in it. It's really, really effective in delivering a very spooky kind of nightmarish quality. And it's one of those albums you don't just put on and like drive to work listening to. It really takes you to a place. And as the album progresses and gets towards the end of the album, it just breaks down in some of the scariest, boogie-iest kind of moments. It's so fucking crazy. Let's see. It's a solo project out of Canada, and the guy's got probably a dozen albums in the last 10 years, and he's also a painter, and he paints all these nightmarish kind of paintings. Used to kind of talk to him off and on when we released this. We put it out on CD and people didn't seem to care that much. We've still probably got 500 or 600 copies of the damn thing sitting around, and it's amazing. I don't know why people didn't seem to latch onto it that much. But yeah, Funeral Industries also did this on LP. I believe they're out of Germany. Probably get this for $25 or so, if I'm not mistaken. And last but not least, we all know nothing is more scary, more nightmarish, more terrifying than evangelical Christians. So, Stryper, Soldiers Under Command. I glommed onto this album, thanks for the word, Marty, because the song makes me want to sing. It's such a catchy power metal song. It's just so fucking good. Yeah, don't support Stryper. Don't give him any of your money. But find this in a used bin and blast it, because it's just one of the catchiest power metal albums that ever came out in the 80s. These guys are a bunch of fucking loser Christians, so fuck them all to hell. But it's a good album. Yeah. Came out in 85. Look at these fucking douchebags. I believe, my friend Mark from War Plague, not the Minneapolis War Plague, the Massachusetts War Plague, owned a cabinet that once belonged to Stryper, and it had like Stryper spray painted across the back of it, and he used it to play filthy black metal in his solo project called War Plague. But this album fucking shreds, no denying it. So there you go. That's my contest entry. I hope you liked it. Have a good one. Woo-hoo! That was a great video. And it was made possible mostly by me, but also thanks to the never-ending, undying love and support of my Patreon subscribers, some of whom are... If you would like to be a part of supporting my channel and encouraging me to make more content that's as good as the one you just watched, join the Patreon. It's $6.66 a month, and I would appreciate your support. Thanks for watching either way.